Welcome to Parev-TV. Today we are joined by the pillars of the Holy Martyrs Armenian Day School of Bayside, New York. Our guests are Seta Tavitian-Megarian, who is the principal of the school. Very young, very energetic, very talented individual who joined the school a few years ago. Also joining us is Natalie Gabrielian, who is a school board member, alumni advisor, who, along with Seta, graduated from the school in 1988. Seta graduated in 1989. Also joining us is Hovanes Malikian, who is a school board co-chair, Friends of the Holy Martyrs Armenian Day School Fundraising Committee chair. This is a very important board that really supports the school. Natalie, I'd like to begin with you. I understand and I know from the websites that the school was founded in 1967 as some Bardes, Pocleru Bardes. Could you give us an idea of the history, highlight the history till the days you graduated?
Sure. Well, Vartan, first of all, thank you so much. It's an absolute honor to be here and to have this opportunity to talk about Holy Martyrs Armenian Day School, which is very near and dear to our hearts and to many hearts throughout the community. The Holy Martyrs Armenian Day School recently celebrated its 50th anniversary. It started out as the High Bardes in 1967, which was the idea of some very dedicated and loving members of the community of the Armenian Church of the Holy Martyrs. And what started out as a small nursery, if you will, a garden, actually grew over the half a century into a fully accredited nursery through 6th grade elementary school. And we have been voted the #1 private school in Queens several times throughout our history. We have had amazing principals leading us along the way. And our alumni are close to 300 strong. As you mentioned, I'm a proud 1988 alumna, and my lifelong friend, Seta Tavitian, at the time, now Magarian, also is an alumna, graduated in '89, and we are one just big, happy family. And I know so many schools, every school says that, but really, you know, we are a very intimate, a very tight-knit community. We are a small school, which is a huge advantage to us, which allows that intimacy and that family environment to grow. It nurtures our children on the day-to-day basis. It lays the foundation for their education, for their instilling in them an amazing Armenian heritage, and also, as I mentioned, lifelong friendships. So when we dedicate our time, if we're not just volunteering our time to the benefit of another institution, of another nonprofit, another cause, we are really coming together for our family. And I apologize in advance if I'm going to get emotional speaking today.
You know, when we were talking about this interview, Sarah said, I'm not going on the interview till I have Natalie next to me. She's a very important part of the interview. She knows a lot and she's very supportive, and we graduated 1 year apart. And so there is this bond. And now today, Natalie, I know you as the Director of Education at the AGBU. When you speak about laying a foundation, education, how has that helped you? How has that foundation helped you move into the Armenian world and now be the Director of Education at AGBU?
It's so funny. I mean, I wasn't just preparing that answer in my head for today, but I am posed with that question so often in my life. You know, you establish yourself as a professional, and then you dedicate your life to an Armenian cause. And you know, as the Director of Education at AGBU, of course, that foundation. Well, first and foremost, I owe that gratitude to my parents. That foundation was laid by my parents. It was their decision to enroll me at Holy Martyrs. And so first and foremost, thank you to them and to the community life that they literally just threw me into. And I've been swimming in that ocean, you know, ever since. But yes, they made that decision to send me to Holy Martyrs Armenian Day School, as so many parents have over the years, and that is where I got my academic basis, my education. Because let's not forget, it's not just an Armenian school; it is Armenian, just educationally, academically. Part of the day, we are a full-fledged, accredited, institution, accredited by the New York State Board of Education. So we get our strong academic values and our academic foundation, that nourishment, but the bonus is that it is infused with that Armenian spirit, that Armenian heritage. So which I grew to love from the age of 3 until I'm way past the age of 3 now. And it is that spirit that I got at the beginning at such a young age, that I was nourished with that love for our heritage, that just again, as I mentioned, it's a family. So that education and that Armenianness came with the love of people that I didn't just view as my principals or my teachers. They were, my moms, my tantigs, my uncles, this and that. So it was very important for me to start and get that foundation, which has guided me throughout my life, and all the way now to the HBU, where I can instill that love and spirit in everything I do and in the people I meet along the way.
Beautiful, beautiful. Seta Tavitian Megarian, the principal of the Holy Martyrs Armenian Day School. Seta, I've known you for quite a few years. I followed you when you were very young, running around in the Kharimian schools and whatever. But I would imagine your story is very similar to Natalie Gabrielian's story, where your parents, it was a choice on the part of your parents to get you immersed and involved in that ocean, as Natalie just said. And that choice was a direction given by parents. And I'm trying to build up the importance of the parents, the decision of the parents in bringing the children to the school. How can you summarize your experience at Holy Martyrs Armenian School, and what led you to come back to the school and be part of the school as the principal?
First, thank you so much for this opportunity. It is a pleasure to be here today, and it's an honor to be part of this community. I agree with everything that Natalie said. In fact, everything she was saying, I was saying, I agree. Yes, that's my experience as well. The fact that my parents made this choice was the biggest decision, and the most life-changing decision that they made for me as a child, and it shaped my future. Being a part of Holy Martyrs Armenian Day School, it was not just a school, it was a family. And so having the opportunity to now be back home is the greatest experience. And I tell parents who I meet, parents of students who I speak with often, this is a gift that we give our children, the opportunity to have this experience and the opportunity to make lifelong friendships. Natalie and I have been friends for a very, very long time, and it doesn't stop with Natalie and I. So many of us are still friends today and still remember those extremely happy days. For parents, this is the greatest gift that we can give our children. And I say our because my children are also at the school, and we are giving them the strongest, most wonderful foundation for generations to come. So for me, this was an opportunity. I taught in public school. I've taught for many years. But when this opportunity came around, this was a chance for me to come back into my community and really share and ensure that future generations had the same experience that both Natalie and I had. It is an honor to serve my community.
Seta, obviously, when it comes to education, the news, we get bombarded with schools opening a new academic year, the challenge we all face with the pandemic. How has the school faced that challenge, and how are we doing at Holy Martyrs Day School?
When the pandemic first hit, we as a board and administration, we came together right away and we had a plan. And that plan was executed, I want to say, the following day. We were on Zoom extremely quickly, and our children did not miss one
Beautiful.
day. They were held accountable, they continued their studies, and they continued at extremely high levels. So I was very, very pleased with my faculty. But what we did over the summer, we knew we wanted to make sure that we had the strongest reopening, and that's exactly what we did. With the support of the most dedicated board, the most amazing, hardworking administration and faculty, we were able to, I'm very happy to say, complete our first, it was a half week, but we were able to complete a very successful 3 days. Our children are excited, our parents and families are excited, and our teachers are so dedicated, and they've done an amazing job getting the children back to the new normal.
Ovanes, you are the most dedicated group of supporters of SETA. She just mentioned. I saw you nodding your head every time Natalie spoke and SETA spoke. You agree with everything they have to say. Obviously, the school's board is a very important body that supports the principal, that supports the staff, and of course is in charge of raising money, which is very, very important for the school. How can you talk about your experience and the present day challenges of the school?
Well, now I thank you very much for inviting us to this panel. It's a pleasure to be here. First off, we're very lucky to have SETA as our principal.
Oh,
and we have a very active board, and Natalie is part of the board, and we're very hands-on, and we're very transparent. So we work together as a cohesive group, and that's proved to be very effective when we face this, what I say, amazing, I mean, not amazing, but disaster actually, that closed down the whole world. And as Seta said, we were very immediately, before the public schools, New York City public schools decided to close, we had a meeting and we decided to close the school and immediately transfer ourselves into the Zoom learning. And it was very effective. And as Seta said, we didn't lose any school days. So now in terms of sort of, I wear 1.5 hats, okay? One being the chairman of the Friends, which is the fundraising arm of the school. And I've been the chairman for 16 years. And just to give you a little background of the Friends, started in 1994 and by Nuran Adarian, you probably know him.
absolutely.
And then I took over. And now 16 years, I've been the fundraising Friends chairman. And we do fundraising. I mean, the school, just like any other nonprofit organization, we always have a challenge of finances. And when we had pretty dark days, but since we formed the Friends, and we have like 30 dedicated members, 30 plus, that we do events, gala dinner dance, that's our biggest fundraiser. Unfortunately, we couldn't do this
year.
in 2019. So I would love to see you in 2020, but I would love to see you 2021 if everything comes okay. So that's an invitation to you.
Ovanes, you are not a recent graduate of Holy Martyrs Armenian Day School. You came from Bolis, and you have been also instilled in you the values of the Armenian people and culture and history. What motivated you to participate? Because it's a very time-consuming responsibility you have. What drives you towards the school's responsibilities?
Well, I owe that to my parents.
Again, the parents.
I was told you have to give back to your community. And I stayed away from that for a while, but eventually came to my senses and I said, I got to do something. And thanks to, I would say, Nuran Adarian, he approached me and I said, hey, I'm going to do this. Would you be? I said, yeah, why not? So 1994, I started this. And it's quite challenging, many times stressful, However, it's very rewarding. So when you go to a graduation and you see these kids graduating, singing, you go to a musical night, they're so talented. And that's testament to the administration, the principals before Seta, that's Zarmina, of course, we have to mention her.
Sure.
And definitely Seta took over the helm and she's done a great job.
Hovannes, you mentioned Nurhan Adarian quite a few times. And every time I think of Nurhan Adarian, I can see in front of me a picture with 50 or more committee members sitting there very powerfully expressing their support to the school. And that really is historic pictures we have. We'll show it to the public. Yeah. And I think what you said is something very noble in praise of Nurhan Adarian, who led the school for quite a few years. I'd like to go to Natalie. Natalie, you are now in charge, as Hovannes said, finances are a very important part of the school's life. And you are now working on Re-Hoping fundraiser campaign. Am I saying it right? Re-Hoping?
We are Re-Hopening.
Who came up with
we have Re-Hopened.
Who came up with this name?
Google it, Kidyar.
Yeah. It's Natalie. What are you trying to achieve?
It's Natalie with the help of Google and a sprinkling of some tricolor Armenian flavor. Look, I mean, there's no, every school is going through the same thing. Every school is Re-Hopening. Every school is reaching. We're all in this together. And that's part of it. It's almost like you're not just in it. It's not just Holy Martyrs in it alone. You're looking at the world. You're looking at your known institutions, your sister institution. You're looking at ODOT institutions. Everyone is in this same chaos, and we're trying to rise from these ashes. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep playing on these phrases, but what I did want to mention before I go into fundraising, which is absolutely crucial to all of these institutions, is that we've realized a lot during this pandemic. We've learned a lot about ourselves. We've learned a lot about the world, and something I don't want to say that we take for granted, but it's opened our eyes to two very important things, which are somewhat related. One, the value of family, however you define family. Yes. So because we've been home with our loved ones, and in some homes, it's a small nuclear family. Others, there's generations of people. It's Zooming and this virtual connection that maybe you reconnected with people. Everyone was reaching out. Maybe on a given day you were just like, oh, okay, I'll call this person tomorrow, but then you were reaching out more. So again, that value of family was brought to life, which again comes back to Holy Martyrs being our family. And just as we were taking care of our immediate homes and rushing to the stores and making sure we had the essentials, that same vision, that same heart was applied to the school, making sure that it had its essentials. So making sure that the teachers were equipped, had the support literally and figuratively to be able to go online. And God bless them, God bless our families, our parents and our grandparents, our siblings who also were the home schoolers and helping our kids through this time, and are still doing that in this new normal, as Seta mentioned. And the other thing that was brought to light, again, with the healthcare workers, with our delivery people, with our supermarket workers, everything, that we often, it brought to light the heroes that are so often not forgotten, but just not, it's not the stereotypical hero. We're so quick to put on pillars celebrities and athletes and all these other, and they're doing their thing wonderfully, but the day-to-day heroes, the family members, the teachers, the educators, the administrators, those in healthcare and so on, they're on the front lines every day, and those lines are so often blurred. that we take, I hate to say we take it for granted. And these heroes emerge. No, they didn't emerge. Our ability to finally see them and give them and shine the light on them that they so deserve. I'm not taking away from anybody in healthcare or any of those essential industries, but if we're focusing on education today, and really our future is in the hands of our educators, of our schools. The economy will bounce back, this and that will bounce back. And we have to pay as much attention to education, to our schools, to our Armenian schools, in this case, to Holy Martyrs Armenian Day School, because we have.
Tell us about rehoping.
I am, but I'm getting excited. But yes, so we are rehopening, and as Hovhannes mentioned, Friends is the fundraising arm, and the gala dinner dance is our biggest fundraiser. And of course, with all the lockdowns and all the social distancing in place, we are unable to do our in-person fundraisers. And that's, from all the activities of the PTO as well to the large scale events that the Friends Committee hosts. So we started a campaign. We are announced to the world that we are reopening, and that's exactly what we did on September 9th. And so a few weeks prior to that, we, jump-started the fundraising campaign. It's a charity GoFundMe campaign. It's charity.gofundme.com/HMADS is reopening. And I'm sure you'll share the URL with our viewers. We set a goal, and the ask is pretty simple. We've been a pillar of the Armenian community for over 50 years. We have no plans to go anywhere, and I hope no one else does. So we need, just as we have done in the last 50 plus years, we are dependent, and we call upon our community of supporters. We have been so lucky to have such a community of staunch supporters and benefactors, and no gift is too small. Every gift counts. So we just call upon them. And if you have never supported Holy Martyrs, why not? Why not start now? It's really the fundraisers are our essential lifelines, and not being able to host those in-person fundraisers or the other activities, we need to get basic operational funding up and running, or at least at a status quo. And then of course, all the changes, we've incorporated such extensive changes, which also come with a very expensive price tag. So and I know other schools are experiencing the same thing. So in addition to the already quite high operational budget that needs to be maintained, we have these added expenses to ensure the safety and security of our kids, so that SETA and the rest of the administration and the teachers only focus on the priceless, delivering the priceless education that our children get. We'll worry about the rest of it.
Thank you very much. SETA, you have two very powerful individuals you've selected to join you in this interview, and I'm saying it very sincerely, because it's not only that it's their heart is in the project, and their heart is in the school's best interest. Natalie mentioned heroes. There are many, many heroes, and I know quite a few who are heroes of the Holy Martyrs Armenian Day School, but one hero I have to mention, and I know who she is. I know you know who she is. Her name starts with a Z, a big Z, Zarmin Bogosian. Tell me what you can tell me about Zarmin and how she has influenced the school. Go for it.
It's hard to find the beginning of the answer, because she changed my whole life. Mm-hmm. She influenced me, my entire journey. One of the most touching stories that comes to mind is one of the first days that I was in my elementary teaching classes in college. The professor asked for us to take 5 minutes and just write a note about our most influential teacher. And that wasn't at all anything I needed to think about. I knew exactly who I would write about. And it was about Principal Emeritus Digin Zarmine Borosyan, who I know as Digin Borosyan. She was my principal, she was my teacher, but even past the teaching years that we had together, she was a friend. She kept in touch with me and made sure, like I'm sure she did so many of her students, that we were on the right track and moving forward in the right direction in our community. And I want to say that the most important thing I learned was to have a voice, and that my voice in my community mattered.
Beautiful.
And to this day, we remain very close, and she will always hold that special place for me, because she was the person who allowed me to be part of this community and to make my voice heard. And my job today is to ensure that for generations to come, other children feel that same voice and the same importance to share that voice, so that this school and our community can keep rising. So she was an integral part of my life, and she still is.
As you mentioned,
Both to myself and the school.
absolutely. She's a dynamic individual, and overall community benefits from her talent, her participation.
Absolutely.
As you mentioned that you're very fortunate to have Seta Mererian as the principal of the school. In closing, because we have to wrap it up, in closing, what do you want to add that we might not have covered?
We basically covered everything, but I just want to reiterate what I said before. Seta has been our principal. You know, it wasn't easy. Let's start with Zarmine. It wasn't easy to fill the shoes of Zarmine. Zarmine has been the face of the school for so many years, and everybody knows Zarmine. And it was not easy for Seta to come in and at such a young age and took over the helms of the school. However, she did a great job, and she proved herself just last year with this COVID situation, that she was in control of the whole situation. Of course, the board is 100% backing Seta, but she proved that she is very, very capable and intelligent and dedicated principal. That's what we want.
Beautiful.
And other than that, I think we're very lucky to have her.
Thank you. Natalie, in closing, anything you would like to add?
And that foundation was laid at Holy Martyrs.
I want to also add, I'm sorry, I'm gonna mention one other name, which very, very lucky to have her, is our secretary, Maro. She is an incredible person. And Seta, I'm sure you back that up. And they didn't take any vacation during this COVID. So they were there every day in the school. So everything came out great. So thank you.
You know, one problem we have by mentioning names, once you start mentioning one name, you say, I forgot the other person, the third person, and it's very dangerous. But these are very important people we have mentioned. Nuran Adarian, Zarmine Borosyan, the secretary. Natalie, in wrapping up.
Yes, so just to add to that, we can't forget Maro Jamgochan, because Seta and Maro are a dynamic duo, and this wouldn't have been possible. They really are superheroes, to continue that metaphor. Holy Martyrs is great, and it will be great with the continued support of the community, with the dedicated principal, administration, board, and again, the community. So please do, we are so happy to have been able to reopen. So we encourage the community to open their hearts, because as they open their hearts, we ensure that our doors stay open for all the tomorrows to come.
Seta, there's been a lot of praise about your character, your dedication, your commitment, your personality, your intelligence. And I would second it. I don't work with you every day, but I do know you. I've read about you and followed you. And I think the school is really, really in a very good position to have you there, as Hovan has so many times mentioned. And I think rightfully so. In closing, what would you like to add?
Thank you so much for these kind words. But I do want to mention that, as Natalie said about family, nothing happens by yourself.
Right.
This is a team effort. Myself, along with Miss Motto, who is so much more than a secretary, we did spend all summer, and she worked very long hours and hard hours to ensure, along with the most dedicated board. And I also want to mention our families. Our families always supported us, our PTO, our alumni, and all of our benefactors. So I just want to mention that this is not just a one-person effort. This has been a team effort to make the Zoom pandemic happen, and now the reopening even stronger than ever. So I would just like to have the opportunity to thank our entire community, from Miss Motto to all of our fabulous teachers who are so dedicated. And while we worked through the summer, they did as well. And they've come back to the most loving, nurturing environment for our children, and they've created solutions to all of the problems. So being part of this family, that's what I want to say. I just want to say thank you for the opportunity and for the dedication that you bring to the table, to everybody, to our board, our former administration, our current administration, our PTO, and all of our alumni and families. Thank you so much.
Seta, Tavitia Megarian, Natalie Gabrielian, Hovanes Velikian, it's been a pleasure. Honestly, it's been a pleasure. And all I can say, we wish you the best. We all have challenges, and with the right team, we can overcome anything impossible. We'll make it possible. Thank you very much. Enjoy the day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.